Hi, welcome back to Creative Tuesdays with Liz. I am looking forward to another fun time as we come together and create. Today we will be making a portrait that's inspired by the artwork of the famous artist Pablo Picasso. I would like to, urge you to look him up and look up some of his artwork after you watch the video with your teacher or your parents or anybody you're with, and so you can learn a little bit about him and his cubist art. And so today we will be creating a portrait that's kind of inspired by some of his artwork. You will need plain paper. You will need a black permanent marker like a Sharpie, or it doesn't have to be a Sharpie brand, a pencil, some watercolors, and water, paint brushes. But if you would prefer not to do the watercolor, you can use markers or crayons or anything else. It does not have to be watercolor. I think it turns out really neat with the watercolor, but you do not have to use that. You can use any other coloring utensil that you like the best. But we will start with our paper. And what we're going to do is we're going to make some folds in it. Now, we're not going to fold it like a grid and have, straight lines going across and up and down. We are going to fold it, make folds kind of diagonal in it. So we're going to make about 5 folds in our paper. So kind of fold it in a diagonal kind of funky way one time, and then we kind of crease it really good. You'll open that up, you'll make another fold in it, just another kind of diagonal random fold. We'll crease that down really good, and then we'll create another one, and so we'll make 2 more. There we go. Now, you can kind of see where all of your creases are that you made in your paper. Now, I didn't say that you needed a ruler or anything because you don't necessarily need one, but if you would feel more comfortable drawing a straight line with a ruler or anything, then you can definitely use your ruler. And we're going to take our a black permanent marker, and we are going to trace each of these creases that we made so that we're going to just end up with these lines all over our paper. So see, just kind of trace each crease that you made. So you'll have about 5 lines on your paper. And the reason that we're using a permanent marker is because if you use another, like a regular marker, and you go to use watercolor, then your marker is going to blend and bleed just like if it was the watercolor. So a permanent marker works best. But if you are not using watercolor and you are going to use crayons or colored pencils or other markers, you can just use a regular black marker. It does not have to be permanent. There we go. So we have traced each of our crease lines on there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this paper that we've drawn all of our lines on, and we are going to kind of turn it until we see we're going to make a face shape in it. So kind of if you want to turn it and be like, okay, well, maybe this right here is a chin, and then we'll kind of go from there. So you can start it with your pencil, and then you're going to draw lines to kind of make the head shape or a face. So see, like that'll be the top of the head. You'll have eyes, a nose, a mouth, eyebrows if you want to. You can even do an ear if you want to. And so when you get ready to do things like the ear, so this will be the ear coming off of the face, and I'm only going to draw it in just this one section. I'm going to stop at the ends of these lines that are kind of dividing the area for me. So there's an ear, and then I'll do the same thing, an ear on this side. It might be a little bit different, kind of. And then we will have some eyes. So I'll have one eye kind of doing like that. The other I'll put up here. And then once you get them all drawn in pencil, you're going to trace over those with your black marker as well. So and then we'll have some eyebrows. And then a nose. So I'm going to have the nose kind of come up just a little bit from this line and come in there. A nose, and then also a mouth. And then I'm going to just take my black marker and I'm going to trace over each of these lines that I drew to make the face. So we've got the nose, and maybe you guys can see, I know the nose is kind of, usually your nose is not right there near your lips or that close to your lips, but that's kind of the way Pablo Picasso did his stuff. It's very abstract and kind of just very cubist done. So that was the art period that he was in. He made cubist art. So, but yeah, I would encourage you to look up Pablo Picasso and see what you can find out about him. And look up some of his famous works of art. All right, so we've got our face shape drawn on here and everything. I'll draw some pupils for the eyes here. There we go. All right, so then we will start painting in our areas. And so you're going to kind of want each area that's blocked off to be having a different color. So you will get your watercolors. You'll need some water, a cup of water, some paint brushes, and then you'll wet your brush first when you get ready to do your watercolor. So we'll wet our brush, and then you'll rub it in whatever color you want to start with. So I'm going to do the background pieces first instead of his face pieces. Then I'll do his face last, and I can figure out kind of what colors I want to make his face. So yeah, so you'll just keep doing your different little sections. And with painting, yeah, you might want to lay something down to protect your work surface area, just to kind of keep it from getting paint over it. And you are going to just, like I said, fill in your areas with different colors. Kind of let each line that you drew kind of be a dividing mark for you. And the less water you use with watercolor, the darker your color will be, and the more water you use with your watercolor, the lighter your color will end up being. So it's just kind of whatever you prefer to use there. If you would rather it be dark or lighter. And I just was looking at this and thinking I want to add some hair in here. So I drew a little hairline on him. All right, so yeah, I'll pick a different color that's going to go in this square. I don't want to have them the exact same colors that are touching. So I'll do a kind of a darker blue. It's a darker blue, kind of purplish. It's hard to tell when on here before it gets wet. There's a square I got. I'll do this area right here, and I'll stay inside this area that my lines have made. And again, right now I'm just working on the background parts, not the actual face itself. And I'll get another one that color. Alright, now I'll do a light blue, and I'll fill in some areas with this light blue. And the same thing, so I'll just do a different area. And again, remember, the more water you use, the lighter your color will be, and the easier it will be to spread. And the less water you use, the darker and brighter your colors will turn out. So you can try doing different ones. Do some areas with a lot of water, some areas with just a little bit of water. And you can kind of just experiment that out and try that and see what you like, how it ends up looking. And I would love to see these whenever you get finished with them. So please take a picture of your work and post it on social media and tag us, the Lancaster County Council of the Arts, in it, and so that we can see the work that you're doing at home and what everybody's, even though we're coming together and creating the same project, they all will turn out so different. And it's just really neat to see the different styles of everybody that we have that's making the exact same project. So I'll use a little bit of green now. Some green in this area. And I'll use green in another area over here. Keep adding a little bit more water, and you can even mix and layer your colors if you want to, and see what it's like to kind of blend some blue and green together and see how that turns out, and just kind of have fun with it. I really, really just want you to have fun and enjoy the art that you're creating. And then I'll do this color on the other background piece. So yeah, all the areas that I've got done so far are just the background. None of it's been the actual subject matter of the face or anything. So what I have left is the face here. And I'm going to do the color of his face with oranges and yellows and kind of come up with a lot of them. So I'll use some yellow. And again, you'll want to do kind of different colors in the different areas. So I'll do this one, this kind of golden yellow. I mixed a little tiny bit of orange with it. Here we go. And then I'll have a little bit more orange in this one that I'm going to do the next part of his face that's right beside it. It just looks a little bit bolder. The first one almost kind of looks a little bit lime greenish kind of. I'll mix a different color orange in there with it. And I'm going to just paint. You can paint right over the nose because that wasn't an area itself you could paint the nose unless you drew it like that. I did not draw mine that way. But I'm not going to color in the lips yet. I'll just come right up to the lips. And there we go. Then I'll add a little bit more orange to the next one. It definitely does look more orange than the other square I did. And I'm going to do this piece up here, not his eyebrow, but just the part that will be the face. Some orange here. And then I'm also going to do this ear orange over here. All right. So I'm going to go back and see if I can get more of a golden yellow color again that kind of looked a little bit like that lime green. It didn't quite turn out like the other. Maybe I still had a little tiny bit of green on my brush the first time I did it. And so I've got one more area that is just this face right here. I'm not going to do the eye or the eyebrow or the hair yet. I'm just going to kind of stop and do just his face. I guess the actual skin area. And then I got the other ear to do. There we go. All right, so what is left is the hair, the eyebrows, the eyes, and the lips. So again, we'll do those just some different colors. And we'll kind of break it up in the different areas that we've got divided there. So I'll do some brown for the hair. I'll use a good bit of water on this side of it. And this end over here. And then I'll have my brush be a little bit more dry, just to kind of give it a darker, kind of bolder brown color for the other sections. There we go. And I'm going to do his eyebrows the same way that I did the hair with the brown. And the lips, I'm going to do a red. I'm going to have the bottom lip be a little bit lighter with more water. And then the top lip, I'm going to use a little bit of less water. And it'll be a little brighter and bolder. There we go. And for his eyes, I'll give him some really dark, brownish, greenish eyes. Yep, that's really dark there. All right, so here we have our Picasso-Inspired Portrait painting. Next week, we will come together and create guitar art. So this will end up looking really cool. You will need some thick paper. or cardboard if you want to cut it out. I'll have a template provided for you. You'll need some yarn or string, some construction paper, maybe some buttons or any other thing that you'd like to add to it. But I look forward to next week as we come together and create our guitar art, and I'll see you then. Thanks.